Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Sweet Spot.
We are your hosts.
I'm Diane.
And I'm Michael Pinball Clemens.
And we are so excited to be here today.
The Sweet Spot really is joy unspeakable, having balance in all you do.
It's being grateful, even when things aren't great. The desire to help others when you may be hurting yourself.
It is submission to a sovereign God who is in control when things look good or bad.
The Sweet Spot means happy times are happier, challenging times are growth opportunities, and love is the ruler of the day.
The Sweet Spot is resting and sometimes wrestling in the arms of the Almighty.
Simply put, if you're in your sweet spot, you're probably abiding in the fruits of the Spirit.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
So we hope you join us as we take this journey and engage in topics that we hope will inspire,
encourage,
challenge,
uplift,
excite,
insight,
refresh,
restore,
revitalize,
comfort,
stimulate,
and strengthen each of you in your daily walk.
Welcome to The Sweet Spot. Hello and welcome to The Sweet Spot.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in, our Sweet Spot listeners. Today we're going to be talking about the secret to being content.
The secret to being content?
Do you know the secret?
Are we talking about that, or are you just
to
going to tell me?
being
Because I
content?
don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Does
You
anyone know the secret to being content?
Well, maybe somebody does.
Well, you know what? Today we're going to find out.
Okay, excellent.
We're going to find out. But before we dive in, I want to share an article that I was reading on livingontheedge.org. And it says this. It says, contentment. What does it mean? In America, we have been taught to believe that contentment is linked to our accomplishments or constantly getting more. Our basic value is that more is better. We think I'll be happy when I get married, or I'll be content when I have a second child, or when my marriage is functioning on all cylinders, or when we remodel that bedroom. We know what that's like, huh, babe? The problem with this line of thinking is that the horizon is always moving. Since there's no end to our desire to acquire or do more, we'll never experience contentment. The Stoics believed that contentment meant the opposite. The way to have peace and contentment is to have less and less. They would emotionally detach from the things and people they loved, convincing themselves that nothing mattered. But the truth is, getting more and more can never be contentment, and desiring less and less can't either. Prosperity doesn't have the power to give us contentment, nor poverty the power to take it away. The true meaning of contentment is being satisfied with what you have and with who you are right now.
You know, that is so true. Because when we grow up, like we as kids, you can't wait. Oh, when I'm bigger, I'm gonna do this. Or when you have larger siblings, well, when I get this big, I'll be able to ride my bike, or I'll be able to go outside by myself, and I don't have to have someone else's supervision. Or I can't wait till I'm 16 so I can drive the car.
There's always something.
There's always something. And so we keep looking forward to when I get this age, and we're not living today.
We seem to miss out on so many things because we're always looking ahead instead of enjoying the moment.
Well, I had a coach, Don Matthews. He said this came from Living on the Edge, and so we want to give that Living on the Edge. Give them another little plug.
Livingontheedge.org is where I got that from.
Livingontheedge.org. My favorite football coach, a coach named Don Matthews, used to say, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space, right? So that whole idea is about living today. If you're not living on the edge, if you're not doing it now, right, you're not doing it right. So be content today is, I think, our message here today. We come to you, and we've had so many wonderful interviews. We want to thank all the people who've come in and sat with us and talked. But today we want to talk to you directly on the Sweet Spot about finding your sweet spot.
That's right. That's right. If I could add, Paul, the letter he wrote to the church of Philippi, do you remember that?
Yes.
It was Philippians 4:11-13 he was speaking of. And it says, I have learned to be content no matter what happens to me. I know what it's like not to have, and I know what it's like to have more. So he's been on both sides. He's had nothing, and he's had so much. But it also says, I have learned the secret of being content no matter what happens. I am content whether I am well fed or hungry. I am content whether I have more or not enough. I can do everything by the power of Christ who gives me strength.
Wow. You know that being a guy, that whole idea of being content when I'm hungry, oh my goodness.
That's being anyone,
yes,
not just a guy.
Yes.
That's anybody.
So that whole idea. I mean, guys love to eat, and certainly everybody. But just that whole notion of he's saying that I've learned that the secret in life is to be content in all things. And as he goes through, so you kind of think of that ideologically. Oh, I'm content in everything. And then we say, hungry, you content? Right? and then as all different things, we have death that takes place
That's
in
right.
life. And we were just talking about a close friend before we started today.
That's right.
Who passed away. And so when those things enter, how do we have contentment in all of those things? And today I think we want to just try to talk to it, to be real, to talk natural, but maybe also to try to give you some pointers.
Yeah, so again,
Yes.
I was reading something online,
Yes.
and they had this quiz pop up, right?
You got too much time.
And
yeah. So,
anyway,
okay.
do
Yes.
a little research.
Research,
Do a
okay.
little
So I'm sorry.
online
So you're
research.
researching.
Yeah,
So
online research.
So in other words, you weren't wasting time.
I wasn't shopping.
I
okay?
was-
Don't worry, I wasn't shopping.
Okay.
No packages will be coming to the house. Don't worry.
Excellent.
You're good. You're good.
All right. The problem was I wasn't investing time. So it was me. It was my fault, not yours. Okay. Good.
Anyway, I was reading online,
Yes.
and this quiz popped up, and it was talking about being content, and it was actually geared
So
to
is
young
this
people.
moving towards me being content when you shop online?
I think so. But that's another. That's a whole nother subject, right?
Okay.
But I think they were gearing this little quiz toward young people.
Yes.
But I kind of flipped it around. So it was asking a whole list of questions about trying to figure out if you were actually content, right,
Okay.
in life.
Right.
And so, for instance, are you content when your neighbor decides to go put in a brand new pool and redo their backyard? When you've been nagging your husband to put in a pool for years and you haven't gotten that pool, and you're watching every day this pool go in your neighbor's backyard. So, A, are you happy for your neighbors? Are you going to go over and congratulate them? B, are you upset and mad at your husband because the neighbors got a new pool and you've been bugging him for a new pool and you haven't gotten that new pool? C, are you just going to be happy and save up and wait until you can get your own pool?
Well, I know what my answer is. My answer is B. I'm happy for my neighbor. Let's go over, let's have a pool, and let's save our money. Just save it. We don't need to have a pool now.
Of course, you want to just save it.
We actually have a pool. Yeah, it's our neighbor's pool. Absolutely. Man, listen.
Why did I know you were going to say that?
Doesn't the Bible tell you to love your neighbor as you love yourself? Absolutely. Love your neighbor. Whoa.
Okay, let's go to another question. Okay, so this other question says,
yay, neighbor. I'm sorry.
This one I think is a good one. It says, you and your best friend, you work out all the time,
Yes.
okay? And your friend eats healthy, eats nothing unclean, everything's clean with their eating. Your friend never exercises, but you exercise. You eat clean too. Yeah. You do all the right things. You work out every day of the week. Yeah. Friend doesn't work out. A, are you going to hope that your friend gains a ton of weight because you're always eating clean and they always get to, throw in that cheat day?
Yeah.
B, are you going to grumble because some people have to work out and some people just automatically look good? I don't like those people, right? Oh. Anyway, are you going to joke that you really enjoy it all the time, having to be on that treadmill or on that little twist thing? You know that little twist thing that you do?
Yes,
that
yes,
twist board to work on that midsection and strengthen up that core?
Still chubby, my goodness.
You know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So, and then it says D, know that you're forming good habits and decide not to compare yourself to others.
Oh my goodness, that's a good question. It really is. This one is an easy one for me because I'm married to a lady who cheats, doesn't work out,
right.
and she looks beautiful.
You're
so
right.
I love her. So yeah, so
you're right.
yeah, so this. I could have been that friend, right? This is me and you. So I work out, I slave, I eat clean. Okay, no. Maybe I don't eat clean, but just incredible, sort of thought questions, and I think answering these questions, the challenge is when you present it like this, I automatically think, I'm happy for my friend, right? But when those situations actually occur in life, I think sometimes these things kind of slip up on us, and sometimes we don't really realize that we're competing with people.
Exactly.
We don't really realize that we're not truly happy for them when they have success. And I think that really one of the greatest indications of having a heart after God is truly being excited for people, cheering for them, and wanting the best for them.
Absolutely.
Regardless of your own situation, being happy and really being able to celebrate
but
their
sometimes
successes.
It's hard, right? Like, and I'm gonna admit, sometimes
Why?
it's hard because you put yourself. I'm the devil's advocate today. Okay.
Okay.
So you've been working hard, say.
Just present the other situation. Don't be an advocate for him.
And
Okay, let's go.
Let's do this.
Okay.
So you've been working hard, and this job promotion comes up, and you've done all the right things, and you've done everything that you're supposed to do, and this other person just slides in the door, and they get the promotion.
Wow.
Now, how are you supposed to be happy and content when you've been slaving and doing, and you just knew you had it? You knew you had it nailed, no problem. What do you say to that person? Like, what do you say to them when their spirit's crushed?
Well, that's one of those things I was talking about.
But I'm happy for you anyway.
Yeah. So that's one of those situations I was talking about, and what we I believe should feel in that situation is well, I think we should have the natural feeling of being disappointed, because it's okay to want to be successful. It's okay to want to go to the next level and be better and achieve higher, right? It's okay to want that, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't be happy for them when we don't get what we want. Right? And so when we start to kind of think about that in context, right? There's a much bigger picture here, right? When I look at the things that I have in life, right? They're not confined to this goal that I was trying to reach. Those bigger successes in life, the things that I'm more grateful about, are actually about the wife that I get a chance to come home to. That didn't change today. The kids, the healthy kids that I have that are in school and doing well, when I don't get that job, when I don't get that opportunity, those things didn't change. And not only that, Christ is still on the throne. So if I say that I am truly living for him, right? And not my own success. So we can use these things to drive us more, to do more. So sometimes it means that we may not be in the kind of environment that is going to reward our success, right? That may lead us to changing jobs and going to a different situation that may be better for us, right? But it doesn't preclude us or shouldn't preclude us from being happy for that person. So whatever that is. So when Rocket Ismail came to Canada, I was the most valuable player in the Canadian Football League the year before, and I was making less than a six-figure salary. And he came and they gave him a contract for $4.5 million, right? And all these people said, well, that's not fair. You're the MVP of the league. You're this, you're that. Well, I was a lot of things that, there were a lot of things that Rocket was that I wasn't, right? One is he was the most popular player in college football, right? He was up for the Heisman Trophy. I was none of those things. So there's that realization that, one, he brings something to the table that I don't bring. When we signed him, we were in the Argos were in the front page of the newspaper, of every newspaper across North America that day. He was big news in every sports channel, right? That I could never do. That I could never be, right? However, I was the MVP of the league. I was that, but the understanding of that doesn't, right? With me being the MVP and Rocket coming and getting all this money, right? Doesn't take the money away that I get. So I still get the money, right? But not only that, because of that and the pressure, I didn't make $1 million, but I moved from being under six figures to making six figures because he came, right? And then over time, what happened is we won a championship. And he became a great friend. So all of these different things that I received, right, because it didn't like I was happy. I was truly happy for him. Not only happy for him, I was happy for us because it made us better. And so I can't say that I've exercised in that way in every situation in life, right? There are things that I have been upset about, but there's a situation where I did engage, right? A guy who came to our team, right? Who many people thought I should have been angry about, right? And I embraced that situation, and I believe that the things that transpired in life really just honored that, and I, wasn't asking for more, but I got more, right, by embracing this situation than I think I ever would have gotten by contending the situation.
So in other words, it's okay when we have disappointments. That's life.
That is.
We are going to experience disappointments, but we have to learn that God is still on the throne. That He has our best interest at heart at all times.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, right, when we're disappointed, we don't always have to be. Right? We can embrace those situations, right? And be happy for people. And sometimes what we find is that there's when we embrace it, there's more in it for us than we ever thought, than we would have gotten if the disappointing situation would not have taken place, right? We find that because it took place and we embrace it, sometimes we actually find out that we get more because of the situation happened, right? So I think there's two. One is, yes, it's okay to be disappointed, right? But when we are living in light of Christ and in light of eternity, right? There are many times that situations happen that we don't have. There are situations where we're going to be disappointed. We should be, but when we look at it in light of Christ and look at it in light, we truly don't even have. We don't have to be disappointed.
Proverbs 16:8 says, "Better a little with righteousness than much gain with injustice."
Wow.
What you think about that?
That's
a good one.
That's sweet.
That's a good
sweet,
one.
Right?
That's a good one.
And when we see that, see some people, have great wealth and maybe haven't gotten it in an honest way.
Right.
And I think when you think about those times where you're saying, well, I work so hard. These people over here, they compromise, right? And they seem to have more. The question is, do they truly have more? Or is that a perception? So we've now gotten back to the letter in the beginning, right? Is more really more?
Exactly.
Right? And is
because more really is your happiness,
right.
your love for Christ. It's not the material things.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So does more money equal more happiness, right? And one of those rap singers, I don't know which one, say more money, more problems.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's very true.
So I really just you want people just to kind of I shouldn't say people. I want you to really just kind of take stock of your life and just really appreciate life, appreciate who you are, where you are, what you're doing, and be grateful right where you are. I'd like to maybe just give a few points, if you don't mind, right? Go through a few things. And the first one is just that, to be grateful, right? Be grateful today, right here where you are. Just be grateful for what you have, right? And there, so many polls that talk about happiness, and they say past I think in Canada they said past $80,000, an additional dollar doesn't add any more happiness to your life. Now there are a lot of people that say, "Try me." but there's a point at which you have enough to take care of your needs. Yeah. You can sort of reach for that. The comfort of your kids, and maybe being able to help them with education and do different things, and that money doesn't add additional happiness. There's a friend of ours, I think his mom used to pray this prayer, a very simple prayer that says, "Thank you, God, for this and so much less." And when I think of that, I just thank you, God, for this.
And so much less.
And so much less. In other words, I don't need this much. Right? I'm grateful, but I don't need this much. Thank you for this. And so much less.
That takes us back to that letter at the beginning as well, right?
That's right.
Wow.
Second thing I want to say is words matter. So speak life into people. When you're talking to people, right, be positive, right? Give positive messages. When you give positive messages to people, right, you usually get a positive response. In other words, when you speak positive to people, you get positive in return, right? So not only are you speaking positive, which is a positive thing and makes you feel good, it makes them feel good, and then they respond positively as well. In Spanish class, I remember this little saying, "En boca cerrada, no entran moscas." And that little saying says, bugs don't enter a closed mouth. In boca cerrada, no entran moscas. So really just want us to speak life into people. Yes. Understand that your words matter. What you say matters. So would you repeat after me? Be grateful.
Be grateful.
Words matter.
Words matter.
Have a philanthropic spirit.
Have a philanthropic spirit.
Be peaceful.
Be peaceful.
Enjoy the grind.
Enjoy the grind.
Embrace who you are.
Embrace who you are.
Be content.
Be content.
So be grateful, we just spoke about, right? Thank you, God, for this and so much less. Words matter. Speak life. In boca cerrada no entran moscas. Bugs don't enter a closed mouth, right? There's a saying, it's better to be silent and to be thought of as ignorant than to speak in the room. Remove all doubt.
Yes.
But that's not the side that we want to go to. That's the negative side. That says bugs don't enter a closed mouth. That's not saying don't say anything. No, it's the opposite of that. Say something. say something positive.
Positive,
Say
yes.
something that builds, that encourages, that inspires, that connects, that embraces, that builds someone up. And then have a philanthropic spirit.
Right.
Right? We want you to have a philanthropic spirit. There's that verse in Galatians says, "Don't get weary of doing good."
well.
That's right. I love that verse. Do good. There's a saying, we rise by lifting others. The fourth one is to be peaceful, right? So be
Yes.
peaceful. Sometimes we have friends who have so much stuff going on, so much drama in their lives, right? And really want to try to, the scripture says, do your best to be at peace with all men, right? And so in your life, try to be a fireman or a firewoman, right? To douse the fire, to take the flames out, to not make a situation worse or inflamed, but to really make a practice of being peaceful and having creating a joyful culture, right? So. The fifth thing is to enjoy the grind. Now, what do I mean by that? To enjoy the grind. Well, working is a good thing. It truly is. And day to day, we can sometimes get in a rut where we don't enjoy our job. We hate what we do. We do all of these things. And in many ways, a job is a blessing.
Right.
Not only does it provide money or give money to provide for us and our families, it also gives us a sense of purpose. It gives us a place to be, somewhere to go, somewhere to connect, right? And a lot of times we get to the point where we don't appreciate our job, the atmosphere, what we're doing, and many times we can't control the things that happen around us, but we can control our attitude.
That's right.
And when our attitude changes, sometimes we find out that our atmosphere, our culture, the things that happen around us at work changes. Sometimes we're the reason for the bad stuff that's going on, right? So we want to really enjoy the grind. I always like to say, you know why you got to grind? It's the only way you can get a good cup of coffee. All right. So enjoy the grind. If we are going to find that sweet spot, number one, be grateful. Number two, understand that words matter. Speak life into people. Encourage people. Have a philanthropic spirit. Don't get weary of doing good. Understand that we rise by lifting others. Number four, be peaceful. No drama.
Right.
Number five, enjoy the grind. Work is a good thing. And then I want you, number six, to embrace who you are.
Yes.
Not just who you are, but whose you are.
That's right.
You
Amen.
are a child
Yes,
of God.
Amen.
So I want you to just embrace who you are. Many times in life, people kind of try to brand us and do different things. But understand that joy, that sweet spot, that happiness is not about your position.
That's right.
It's about your disposition.
That's right.
Right? You can have the position of power and influence, right? But if you don't have the right disposition, it's still not going to make you happy, right? It is not the position you hold, but the disposition you carry that makes all the difference. And our final thing is, well, as we started today, be content.
Be content.
The Apostle Paul said, I've learned the secret of life is to be content
in all things.
That's what we want to encourage you, is to find your sweet spot. This week, be content in all things. You can use those 7 themes for the days of the week if you like. Be grateful. Words matter. Speak life. Have a philanthropic spirit. Be peaceful. Enjoy your work. Enjoy the grind. Embrace who you are, but not just who you are, whose you are. And be content in all things.
In all things. And Paul realized that contentment, it's an attitude. He says, Paul realized that contentment is not an attitude we learn, and it's not a thing, but a thing that we achieve. He learned to be content regardless of his circumstances. So whatever he was going through, he learned to be content. And that's what we have to do in order to live in that sweet spot, we have to learn to be content, and not just be content, to be comfortable in our own skin, be comfortable with who we are, where we are, and especially learning to be, when we're in the presence of God, just understanding and knowing that it is Him, it is He who provides for us and supplies our every need. So we need to be comfortable and content in all things at all times.
So, shouldn't be ashamed of being short. All right, I'm good then. I'm good.
You just had to do it. You had to go there.
Until next time, we want you to stay in your sweet spot. Be content.